Sound the bend from Lookout Point to a compound town. I am my ancestors' blood, flesh and bone. The bloodshed to set us free. Resisted oppressors and traitors, never bound to them tyranny.
Today I want to talk to you guys about who is your God, or who, you know, and I'm coming from a perspective of Jamaican Obeah, what my ancestors and spirit guides teach me. So your God in our belief system is your ancestors. Why is this? Because we are created from them. Even if you look inside the book, the Bible, which, you know, I'm not a Christian, but I do believe that it has some good, some truth to it. It says that, I believe it's Genesis chapter 1, verse 27 or something like that, where it talks about how God created man in his own image. When you look at our fathers and mothers, you can see the situation where you never even meet your parents. You look like them. You have characteristics of them, such as like your personality, the things that you do. You may have an addiction like them. So therefore, we look at this and we know that our mothers and fathers came together and did what they did and created us. And when they created us, they made us in their image. And they were once created from two people, their mother and father, and created out of their image, and so forth and so on. Now, when you reach to that mother and that father, those two that create, the very first founding ones of us, the ones that we say sit at the foot of God himself, that is the one who speaks with God on our behalf. So the creator, who some refer to, or some of us refer to as a Yonkompong, he's not our God in per se, the God of us, but he is the God of everything. He created all of this. But when we're talking about on an individual level, who is it that we're supposed to pray to and constantly keep in contact with? Not so we don't give respect to God, to Yonkompong himself, because we definitely do, but on a daily basis, who do we listen to and converse with? Is always going to be our ancestors, because they created us. We come from them, and God understands that. In our belief system, God understands that, so he respects it. You understand? So when we have certain situation and we needed to get to heaven, or we needed to be answered, it's our ancestors we talk to, because our ancestors sit at the foot of God and lets God know what's going on with us and argues on our behalf, so that way we're able to get things done. So this is why I always tell people that if you're trying to get into spirituality, and when I mean spirituality, I look at the root word, which is spirit. So that means that if you're a spiritualist dealing with, and you're in spirituality, you should be working with the spirit. I always tell people that you don't go to what they'll know as elementals and all these things first. You go to your ancestors, your gods, your goddesses. They are first. And through them, they will show you the path in the right way, what is for you. Because not everything that, like what I do, means that you are supposed to be doing. We all have our own path. We all have our own things we need to do. Not everybody's here to be being a priest or a priestess to be fixing everybody's problems. Some people are here just to deal with whatever they decided to come down on earth to do. And this is how we realign with that. We go back to our ancestors and talk to them. So if you're trying to get, if you like, I'm really pushing this towards Jamaicans and Jamaican Obeah, because when I be online, I don't see a lot of information about Jamaican Obeah. I see Obeah from different parts of the world, but when it comes to Jamaicans, I don't really see things for us side to side for talk up and give certain information through my understanding. So I'm telling you guys now, Don't be running for all these different type of spirits. Start with your ancestors. Another great reason why you start with your ancestors, they will be more forgiving with you when you fuck up. If you jump and start worshiping and devoting yourself to certain deities, to certain spirits that you don't have no connection with, you may not have connection. You may feel like you have a connection with them. And this is another thing. Certain deities have more than one aspect. So the aspect, you may be underneath you may reside with a deity that have an aspect similar to the spirit that you think is the one that you're in correspondence with, because that spirit mimics the spirit or the deity that you are supposed to, that if you are supposed to be dealing with them or worshiping them, that'll be it, and you're doing the wrong thing. And then sometimes your life get chaotic because of that. Because sometimes these spirits, not everybody, but sometimes these spirits could be very jealous. Okay? So with that being said, when it comes to that Jamaican Obeah thing, ancestors, straight ancestors are your God. Anything else come after that. I hope you guys like this. If you have any debates or anything, let me know. Please don't bring your system ideology over here, because your system has its belief system, and not everybody all across the world have the same belief system, but it all works. So this is for Jamaican Obeah, yeah? Honors and respects. So earlier I said in the video, mimic. What I should have said was have similar energies, because mimic means that a spirit is trying to emulate and pretend to be something else. But there are some spirits that do that, but we're not talking about that right now. We're talking about the actual deity. So there are some deities or spirits that has more than one aspect, and the aspect that may be in correspondence with you could have a similar energy of the deity or spirit that you think it is. And sometimes that causes a problem, because depending on what spirit you're under, if you're under, could be very jealous. So when you deal with your ancestors and you become more in tuned and have a greater connection, you will see further and understand further where you're supposed to be, what you're supposed to do. All right?